to start with. That is what you are doing so far. Clear? Though you can scale it anytime, but you have to define the storage first, right? You have to give some amount of storage, right? I need this much, okay? That I wanted to start with this much of storage, right? Then EFS is what? EFS is, first of all, it is a elastic file storage, as the name suggests. Okay, it is elastic in nature, right? Okay, and it is a network storage. It means, same storage can be mapped with n number of EC2 instances, okay, within that availability, or sorry, within that region. Same instance or same EFS volume can be mounted with n number of EC2 instances, okay. And if in case, let's suppose Ritika and Nanda and me, all three are using the same EFS storage, right? If in case I put some data on that EFS, that will be visible to Nanda and Ritika. If in case Ritika puts some data there, that will be visible on my machine as well as on the Nanda's machine. Okay, that is the second
Okay.
functionality. The third thing is it is elastic in nature. You not need to define any storage capacity like that. I need this much, or I wanted to start with 100 GB or 1000 GB. It is elastic in nature. Okay, it will scale as soon as you keep putting your data, right? Let's suppose if you have, like if you are putting 5 GB data, it will be of 5 GB. Okay, if you suddenly you put 1000 GB, right, you can put 1000 GB as well. If you are putting, like, 100 TB, you can put 100 TB as well. So it will automatically scale, right, as per your requirement. You not need to worry about anything, right? That I need, or you not need to guess the capacity, right? That I would require this much, or I would require this much. You just mount it and forget. Okay, that's it. It is scalable. Okay, clear?
It's clear.
So let's do one thing. Let's go to storage, right? We are here. S3 we
Yeah.
have done. We are doing EFS. EFS is for one more thing.
Elastic.
EFS is only and only for the Linux based system. That is the Black Window system. Okay, Linux, Red Hat, SUSE, and FSX is for Windows. Okay,
Okay.
that is the difference. Both are same, but the difference is of the operating system. You can attach EFS with the Linux system, and FSX is with the Windows.
Okay. Nowadays, Linux has been in use in market.
Sorry, Linux is in.
They are using Linux nowadays. You're using only Windows, right? Most of all with use only Windows,
No.
right?
See, whatever I have seen, there are, like, it totally depends on work to work. Okay, I won't say that, that we
Mm.
don't use Windows or we don't use Linux, but generally, what happens in most of the cases means in 70% of cases, you would be using the Red Hat based systems, so Linux based systems. Okay, not Windows based
Okay.
system. Okay, so you would be using these, right? But whenever there is a like requirement of installing the Active Directory, okay, or the Exchange server or email server, in that case, what will come into picture? Windows server will come into picture. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
right? So depend on the requirement. So we have this elastic file storage. I have create file storage, right? So I'll name it my Vedanish hyphen EFS. You can choose the VPC default, right? I'll customize it. Okay, right. You can disable automatic backup, right? So I don't want you to take backup, but at organization level, you can enable it, but I am not enabling it as of now, right? Okay, and you have the same lifecycle policy as well that was there in the S3, right? So no need to discuss about this part, right? And I am also disabling the encryption, right? Then the network. So I'm taking default. Then I am taking all the availability zones. If in case you want, you can simply remove the availability zone. If in case you wanted to take two availability zone, you can take it, but I'm not taking it. I'm taking everything. It's clear. Then what happened? This is the security group, default security group that is attached here. Okay. So make sure it is attached with the default security group. Clear? Now what you need to do, click next. Here you can put the policy if in case, let's suppose you want prevent root access by default or enforce read only access, you can put the policy here, right? Then next, and then next is the create. So while it is what saying Amazon EFS is transitioning to, what was the notification? Something was there, right? Okay, so let it create, and till then what we can do, we can have our EC2 instance installed. We will create instance, right? So I'll create instance. This time I will create two instances. Okay, right? And nothing I will do. Right, you can also add file system from here, right? If you add file system, you will be able to see, right? This is the name that I have given, right? You can also add it from here, but I'm not adding from here. I'll add storage tag. I'm not adding any tag. I'll take a default security group, this, then next, I'm choosing my key pair, and I'm launching the instances, right? So two instances are getting launched. So I'll name them now. So I'll name it EFS 1 and EFS 2. As you can see, both are in same availability zone, 1D, 1D. Okay. It's clear so far. So I have the security group, this, right? Clear? I have instances in my security group, this. Clear? But my EFS is in the default security group. So in order to make the connectivity between both, I need to make the changes in the security. So you see, this is in default security group, and this is in Danish test SGNK security group. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to go here in this security group. I'll go here, okay, and I'll edit inbound rules, right? And I'll add rule. You can say all traffic, and you can put the security group name here. So I had that default security group. I think this one, right? It's ending with S53AB6B. Let's just verify. Yeah, this one. And I'll save. Right. So in order to make the connectivity between this and this, like EFS and EC2, you need to make these changes, right? So now I have added an entry of EFS security group to the EC2. It means that whatever the traffic will be coming from EFS, it will be able to reach the my EC2 instance. Okay. So let's do one thing just to ensure that I have done it correctly. This is EFS. So okay, or you can also do one thing. You can put, let's not put. I'll go to EFS now, right? I'll connect here. I'll connect this EC2 instance. Right, sudo I'll update all the packages. Yum update -y. Okay. So earlier we need to install the package as well. Okay, we need to install the package as well for the for mounting this, right? We need to install this package. But nowadays, in Amazon Linux AMI, that package is pre-installed, right? So I'll go here. If you see attach option here, if you click on attach, right, and you need to click on mount via DNS, or you can also connect, mount via IP. So I'll click on mount via DNS because DNS remains same, right? So I'll use NFS client. Earlier, you need to install this NFS client. Okay, if you are mounting, right, you need to first install the NFS client, then you can, put this instruction. But nowadays, it is pre-installed. Or you can choose the mount via IP as well. In that case, you need to make sure you are changing this IP with the availability zone, right? So I'll take the DNS first, right? I'll copy it. Okay. And what I'll do, I'll go here first. Okay. And everything remain the same. And I'll do here var www html. In this directory, I wanted to map it. So if I go here and if I type this, every time I get this, like error message, I don't know why. So that's var go in this directory. Oh, sorry. I haven't installed Apache Yum. Install httpd -y. Okay. The spelling is wrong. Now it should install. Right. So it is there. I ran the same command now. So it is now mounted. If you check df-h, df-h. So you see it is mounted. This is my file system name, right? And it is mounted on var www html directory. Okay.
Okay.
It's clear. So I'll go ahead on another machine now. Okay, so this is the EFS2 instance, right? So I'll copy this IP now and I'll open it from putty this time. Because if I open another instance, this one will be like stopped, or it will be cancelled. So I'll open from putty and I'll search for AWS-IFS. Okay, and EC2-user, then sudo su yum update -y. Okay, then I'll install. And I need to run the same command now on this particular machine as well. So I'll run this. Okay, if you see df-h, so you can see it is mounted. Right, now you go to this directory, you go cd var www html, right? And now if I create file nano index.html, right? So you say something like this, right? And save yes, okay. And you create one more file, let's say test.html, right? And you save it, okay. So if you list ls, so I have index.html and I have test.html, right? So this is, now you go here. Okay, so this is my EFS2 and this is my EFS1 on Google Chrome. So if I do CLS first or clear screen, right? And if I go to this directory var www html, okay. And if I do ls, you can see both the files are here, index.html and test.html, though I have created on this system, right? This one. Okay, but it is reflecting on this particular machine. As let's suppose that now I'm creating nano EFS2, okay, .txt file I'm creating, let's say, right? I'm putting something like this here and yes, right? So now you see, so I have EFS.txt, index.txt and test.txt. So if I do ls here, so you see EFS.txt file is also here. So whatever I'm doing on one machine, that data is replicated on the another instance as well. So that is the role of EFS storage, okay, or it is acting like a network storage. It's clear?
Storage.
Clear, Ritika and Nanda?
Yes.
Okay, Ritika, what about you?
Yes, it's clear.
All right. So that was all for the day from my end. Let me stop recording first.